DeepMind began as a dream, a small London lab chasing one of the oldest questions in human history. What is intelligence, and can it be recreated? Its founders spoke about building systems that could learn like the human mind, reason like the human mind, maybe even understand like the human mind. But as the years passed, that dream grew into something far more powerful and far more complicated. Because the closer DeepMind came to building a thinking machine, the more governments, militaries, and corporations began to circle around it. In 2018, Google publicly distanced itself from military work after the backlash over Project Maven, a Pentagon program that used AI to analyze drone footage. Thousands of employees protested, arguing that Google should never build technology that could be used for lethal targeting. The company promised it would never again pursue AI for weapons or surveillance. But promises in Silicon Valley have a short half-life. By 2024, Google quietly signed a new defense contract worth hundreds of millions, giving the Pentagon access to its most advanced Gemini models. Inside the Department of Defense, a classified network began deploying Gemini agents for mission planning, intelligence analysis, and battlefield simulations. The same company that once vowed to stay out of warfare was now supplying the backbone of America's next-generation military AI. And DeepMind, the research lab that once insisted on independence, was pulled into the center of it. Some researchers objected, some resigned, others stayed silent. But the shift was unmistakable. The world's most advanced AI was no longer just a scientific project. It had become an instrument of state power. This wasn't the first time DeepMind crossed ethical lines. Years earlier, in London, the company struck a deal with the Royal Free Hospital to access 1.6 million patient records. The data was used to train a medical app called Streams, but the patients were never informed. The UK's Information Commissioner ruled the partnership unlawful, citing a failure to protect patient privacy. DeepMind apologized, but the damage was done. A company that promised to benefit humanity had quietly taken medical records from an entire city without consent. It was a warning sign, one that would echo through every controversy that followed. When Google acquired DeepMind, the founders insisted on creating an independent ethics board to prevent exactly these kinds of abuses. But over time, that board faded into secrecy. No public reports, no transparency, no accountability. Some insiders claimed it barely met at all. Others said it existed only on paper. What was once a safeguard became a symbol, a reminder that ethics in AI often collapses under the weight of profit, power, and geopolitical pressure. DeepMind's algorithms grew more capable, and with that capability came new risks. Like all large AI systems, they inherited bias from the data they were trained on. In healthcare, that meant misdiagnosis. In hiring, it meant discrimination. In military use, it meant the possibility of algorithmic prejudice embedded inside surveillance systems or targeting models. Bias in a public system is dangerous. Bias in a classified system is invisible and irreversible. And then came the warnings. Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of deep learning and one of the intellectual architects behind modern AI, left Google in 2023. He said he could no longer ignore the dangers. He warned that AI systems were beginning to develop internal representations that even their creators couldn't fully understand. He warned that once machines learn to manipulate, to persuade, to strategize, they may pursue goals misaligned with human values. And he warned that the combination of advanced AI and military deployment could create risks humanity is not prepared to handle. DeepMind's founders once said they wanted to build artificial general intelligence that would benefit everyone. But today, their technology sits at the intersection of medicine, national security, global infrastructure, and corporate power. It is used by hospitals, governments, intelligence agencies, and militaries. It is trained on data from millions of people who never gave consent. And it is governed by ethical structures that exist mostly in name. The story of DeepMind is no longer just about intelligence. It is about control. Who has it, who wants it, and who will wield it in the decades to come. Because the closer we get to creating machines that can think, the more we must confront a truth we've avoided for too long. Intelligence is power, and power, once created, is never given back. DeepMind set out to understand the mind, but in the process, it may have built something that understands us far better than we understand it. And as governments and corporations race to weaponize that understanding, question is no longer whether machines can think. It's whether humanity can survive what happens when they do.